Having people like you and listen to you, and particularly being influenced by you, is a very desirable trait. It's perhaps the most desirable attribute you can have as a person, as not only can it open doors to new opportunities, you can shape the views of others and impact people from a small scale, say a group, to a large scale, like a country. And people who have this attribute tend to become incredibly successful. All the knowledge in the world won't mean a thing if people won't listen to you. And those who can get an audience to listen will be paid very well for doing so. For those people often make great salespeople, company directors, politicians. They make great managers, leaders, CEOs. They become entrepreneurs, inventors, leaders, and history-making individuals. And the reason they're successful, because people like them and will listen to them, which is vital for any kind of success. Now, if you're thinking of how to make people like you, to make people want to listen to you and be influenced by what you have to say, it's often thought that the key is to be an interesting person, or perhaps a socially dominating individual with some kind of interesting trait, skill, or career maybe. After all, you look at some of the most influential people like The Rock or Elon Musk, and you can appreciate just how interesting they are, and perhaps there's no surprise that they're so influential. But you're looking at them now at the peaks of their career, after they've accomplished so much, achieved so much success. How many people do you think listened to them when they were 16 or 18 or 20 years old? The Rock has so much to say about personal development, about success, even politics. He has a massive audience that listens. But even when he was at the top of his game as a wrestler, would he have had as many ears as he does now? Not likely. So what am I saying? We have to become big successful stars or extraordinary business tycoons to be listened to? Not quite. Far from it. And in this video I will tell you 6 secrets to making people like you, which is the first step and arguably the hardest in getting people to listen to you and become influenced by what you have to say. Don't be interesting, be interested. Be interested in others and what they have to say. Who will listen to you if you don't take the time to listen to them? Take the time to listen to others, learn from them, and understand what they have to say and why they say it. Be genuinely interested in their thoughts and appreciative of the time they gave you to tell you. And also, people love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about their hobbies and their passions and their interests. So the more they talk about themselves, the more they'll enjoy the conversation, the more they'll like you, and the more you will learn. Showing a genuine interest in others will often earn you the same in return, and they will take the time to listen to you, and you may also find you've earned their loyalty in listening too. If you want people to like you, to find you interesting, and then ensure you like them and find them interesting, this is key to forming pure, genuine relationships. Listen. As I said in the previous point, you need to be interested, but that doesn't mean you smile and nod your head, forgetting each word as it comes through. The key to being genuine is actually listening, taking it all in. Listen and show you're listening by offering your own perspective, asking relevant questions that the talker will enjoy answering. And doing this shows your interest and commitment to the conversation. Remember that most people are mostly interested in themselves and what they like and what they think about, rather than what you like and what you think. Nobody appreciates our thoughts more than ourselves, but if you can show that you are just as interested in what they have to say as they are, this will go a long way in creating a connection, and the key to all this is listening. So when a person knows you're interested and truly listening, and you are contributing to the conversation, you'll find you are creating a bond based on genuine communication, and with that, you have formed a connection on a subject, and people will appreciate that and often will want to return that favor. Make them feel important. Perhaps the most important lesson of all this video, and the foundation into creating any positive relationship, is to make that person feel important. Now, I know what you might be thinking: isn't money the greatest human desire? It's what we strive for day in, day out. But many people want money in order to raise their social status, to have a nice car, the big house, to be able to pay for things. Money in some ways makes us important, but it's not quite that simple. When you think about it, and when you consider our heroes like The Rock and like Elon Musk, yeah, it might sound nice to have their levels of wealth, but what we really aspire to have is their level of importance to the world, to be desired for our opinion and our thoughts and our time. We as humans desire to be important, and if you can tap into that and make others feel important, and more critically, you do it genuinely, you value their time, their words, their actions, then you can build a foundation to form a great relationship. You may also find having their attitude in general helps you greatly. Paying people attention and appreciating their value, even if it's just someone serving you a coffee and will likely never see again, it can go a long way to make people feel great about themselves, that you appreciate them and see them as an individual and not just someone serving you coffee. So for example, you may ask them how they are, thank them and appreciate the effort that they made. But above all else, and how this helps people like you raise your influence, is that when you make people feel positive about themselves, you make them feel valued and important, they will often want to return the favour and it becomes a mutual friendship. Remember their name. Do you have a favourite word? Because the reality is that often our favourite word is our name. Nothing turns our head and excites us more than hearing our name spoken. Our name is what summarises our importance and becomes our brand of who we are as a person. We want to feel important, and nothing makes us feel more important than someone remembering who we are, remembering our name. That person knows who we are, and if they follow up with conversation about ourselves, our achievements or our skills, what we're about, then it really elevates our feeling of self-worth. So this is why it's so important to remember people's name. By doing so, you're making them feel great about themselves, that you know who they are, and when you follow this up with a conversation about them, you're really building up a strong relationship. Think of it the other way. Have you ever been annoyed by someone not remembering your name, or having someone who has known you for months, even for years, struggle to know or remember your name? It may seem innocent, and mostly it is, but it would make us feel so much better if they instantly knew our name as soon as they saw us. So when it comes to making people feel important and trying to influence them to your own way of thinking, you will never get far without remembering their name. It will come across as a lack of interest in this person, and as discussed, if you're not interested in this person, why should they be interested in you? Smile. Professor James McConnell, psychologist at the University of Michigan, said that people who smile tend to manage their time more effectively, are happier, and raise happier children. So smiles are so powerful. It's believed that they can be seen through a telephone, and that's why it's often encouraged that you smile while speaking over the phone to create a more positive connection to the person on the other end. It's also argued that not much can be achieved unless you're happy doing it, and happiness gives out genuine smiles. You need to enjoy speaking to other people, getting to know them, finding them interesting, and by doing so, you'll be giving them the warmest of smiles that they will soon remember you by. But it also connects to what we've talked about. Smiling at people upon meeting them, seeing them again makes them feel important. This person will not only remember you better, but smiling is contagious, so if you smile at them, then it's very likely that they will smile back at you too.